Hey there. Today is my mom's birthday, and so I wanted to do a tribute to her and to the alchemy of moms and what they bring to our lives, the legacies that they leave. So I just wanted to do a quick class around that in her honor of what she taught me and the philosophies that still ring true to me today and share it with you. Though she's no longer here, her life still teaches me. This class isn't just about honoring her life. It's about sharing the legacy and the lessons that she gifted to me. Lessons in unconditional love, strength, resilience, and how to move through the world with heart. My mom, Maureen, or Mo to many, was a quadriplegic with massive physical challenges. She had multiple sclerosis. But she lived with joy, purpose, and heart. She was positivity in motion, strength without ego, and service without hesitation. She didn't just endure. She actually chose every day to live fully, the best life that she could, even with her physical challenges. And honestly, she was one of the happiest people I knew. And I would say that even if she wasn't my mom. She chose to lead with love and to show up anyway, even with everything she faced. I hope her legacy and the lessons that I've learned inspire you today as they continue to inspire me. Choose kindness, offer grace, and help someone just because you can. These pillars, the foundational pillars that I'm going to go through each one, they weren't just things that she believed. They were things that she lived day to day. Every person here has probably experienced one of those gifts. Her body might have been gone, but the lessons remained. And that's the best way that I can think of to honor her, is to carry them forward. She had many foundational pillars that she lived. But the ones that really stand out to me that I'm going to share with you today were the ones that you see on the slide. Positivity, unconditional love, service to others, fortitude and resilience, that life is made of music, do everything with heart, life is a limitless adventure, and how to channel your inner warrior and have faith. And I'm going to share some personal stories about how she lived those and how I remember her. Mom was actually, despite her physical limitations, she really lived in a glass half full world. And I truly mean it when I say she's the most positive person that I've ever met. So I'm going to share a story with you. We were in a mall, and there was a man who was walking in front of her wheelchair. And he just kept walking in front of her. And frankly, just being a jackass. And he kept bumping into her. He kept basically throwing clothes on her, just completely disrespecting her. And honestly, as we walked away, what she said to me was, "Man, that guy had really nice teeth." That's it. That perfectly captured who she was. She was the person that always had something kind to say. Also, unconditional love. Helping people was simply who she was. Now keep in mind, as a quadriplegic, you need help with even the smallest daily tasks. Despite this, she never made it about her. She always listened, laughed, and gave herself fully to others. She just wanted to share love and help where she could. That's just who she was. Even when I was having a rough day, I lived away from her. You know, the day when I talked to her on the phone, I visited her, tried to visit her fairly often, but it was never enough. But even when I called her on the phone, I could be having what I thought was a terrible day. And the minute I talked to her, the minute, she would want to know what was rough about my day. Even though her day was faced with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of challenges, she wanted to know how my day was. And honestly, as soon as I opened my mouth, it always reminded me that life is just not that bad. She always wanted to know how you can help and support others. And within that, she always chose service over self-focus, even with strangers. She believed that service for others was of primary importance. So let me tell you a story that comes to mind when I think about her service to others. She was in the ICU. She was rushed to the ICU, and she was in the ICU. Like I said, I lived in a different state. And so I rushed down there. I think it was like a 6-hour drive. I get in there, and I'm looking for her to try to find her in the ICU. And this was the day after she went into the ICU. She couldn't breathe. She had, I think it was 30% lung capacity at best on a normal day. And so, she was really in rough shape. So trying to find her in the ICU. And I go into the room that she's supposed to be in, and I'm panicking, sheer panic, because I couldn't find her. She wasn't in the ICU. And of course, your mind goes to the worst. And so I'm searching throughout the hospital. No one knows where she is. I'm like, how are you missing a person in the ICU? So I finally find her, and I see her as I'm running by a door, and she's in some guy's room, sitting in her wheelchair beside the bed. And so I walk in, and I hear her, and she's literally teaching this man, a complete stranger, mind you, how to speak again, because he had had a stroke. Now, of course, when I first walked in the room, I didn't know what she was doing. But as I remained silent to observe what was going on, and she didn't see me immediately. Long story short, I found out that she had spent 5 hours teaching a stranger how to speak again. And by the way, she had a patience of a saint. She had every reason to focus on herself through life. But she always chose service instead. She chose to help just because someone needed it, and brought beauty to the world because of it. One of the other legacies that my mom left for me was fortitude and resilience. And I have a quote on this slide. I knew that it was meant to be for me. So I think those of you who have lost your job, this story will resonate with you. But this is just another example of her fortitude and resilience. She returned to the United States after teaching overseas for many years. And she needed a job. And so she saw an ad in the paper for a director of literacy volunteers at a local community college. And so she decided that she wanted the job. She literally, every single day, called the handicap bus, took the handicap bus to the community college, went into the community college, all of this without help, mind you, went into the community college and talked to people and showed up again and again. And I'd be lying if I told you how many days she showed up in a row, but I know it was more than 2. But she knew it was meant for her. She said she was meant to do it. And so she simply showed up until they hired her. This is how she approached every single obstacle in her life. That's fortitude. That's resilience. My mom was always singing, and sometimes pretty badly. She made life into a song, and the world was pretty much her rhythm. I remember she used to want to come do errands with me when I was driving. And so, as someone who wasn't overly patient and it's your mom, sometimes I was a little impatient with that because you just wanted to run an errand and come back home. But inevitably, she'd be joining me. And when she was joining me, as I'm in the driver's seat, she's sitting in her wheelchair. We had attachments in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And so she was kind of sitting a little bit back. And so I'm laughing because I'm flashing the memories of it. You'd play something on the radio, and she probably wouldn't even know the music. And she would literally hum, click, and whistle. I admit it drove me a little bit crazy at times. But that was part of who she was. She brought joy wherever she went. She never stopped singing along to life. Even when her body failed, her spirit danced. She fully believed and lived the concept of make your life a song and allow the world to be your rhythm. As you can probably already tell from the stories of the last slides, she led with heart in every single thing she did. Supported me through rough patches, cheering me on, cheering others on, just cheering strangers on. And she never took anything personally. She had a presence about her and a heart about her where it didn't matter who it was. She would always make you feel like even the smallest issue or problem or challenge were small. She would listen. She would provide a safe space. She would always provide a listening ear and a shoulder. She was the embodiment of kindness and patience, and not performatively, but that was her natural state. She loved fully and served without hesitation, always. She always fully embodied kindness and patience. As sweet as my mom was, she was pretty hard-headed in some significant ways. And I loved her for it. She taught me that life is a limitless adventure. She didn't wait for permission from life. Even with her physical limitations, she lived it boldly, imperfectly, and bravely. She had a huge love for travel, for example. And so she traveled. She took cruises. She went all over the place. She never let her challenges define her. We talked about her showing up for the job daily until she got it. That's how she tackled life. She acted instead of waiting. She approached life with that attitude every single moment of every single day. She never asked for permission. She just did it. And did it kindly and happily with joy because she wanted to. And honestly, all of it was with heart. There was no ill intent ever. That's the type of woman she was. The other thing I want to be super clear about is she wasn't a victim. She was a warrior. Her life was a conscious, powerful act of grace. I've got to be honest with you. as her daughter for many years. I saw her as a victim of circumstances. It was only until recent years where I got the intuitive channeling that she actually chose that as a soul to model strength and resilience and being an inner warrior and positivity and joy and love, even despite her physical limitations. That realization changed everything for me. She wasn't a victim. She was a warrior who had that mindset of conscious peace, power, and grace. She chose to live. As I reflect on all the ways my mom showed up for others, despite being quadriplegic, despite significant physical limitations, despite life throwing every curveball imaginable, I now see her not as someone who endured, but as someone who chose her path, something greater. She was honestly love in motion, a quiet warrior, and a living reminder that life isn't about what you can't do. It's about what you choose to do anyways. My hope in sharing this is that her light reaches just a few more people today to help inspire you. If her story moves you, honor her by giving someone else unexpected grace, choosing kindness, or offering help just because you can. Because that's how you pass the baton forward. She modeled how to live life. The alchemy of her legacy and energy was find the good, love unconditionally, serve others, never quit, sing loudly, and lead with heart. Choose adventure because you can. And be a warrior even when the odds look stacked against you. Thank you, Mom. And I love you for the legacy, for the love, for showing me the woman that I wanted to become. And for all of you listening to this, may your days be filled with positivity, unconditional love, service, resilience, music, heart, adventure, and may you embrace the spirit of your peaceful warrior. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you anytime at globaldivinealchemy@gmail.com. Take care. Have a great day.